Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back for Electric Bilodeau this week. Coming up tomorrow night over at the Charleston Music Hall, Becky Robinson is playing a show, a one-woman show, very different from just a normal stand-up act. I got to talk to Becky. She's got a bunch of characters she's bringing out, a bunch of sets that they're going to have set up over at the show. So really funny conversation with Becky Robinson. Let's hear from her.
Becky Robinson coming to the Charleston Music Hall coming up on February 15th as she go on tour. Joins us on Electric Bilodeau this afternoon. Becky, thanks so much for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, I know this is a little bit different than just a regular stand-up show. I know this is a one-woman show and there's characters and everything else. Just how different is this from a typical stand-up show?
It's not crazy different. It's definitely gonna be the best night of anyone's life who comes.
Wow.
I've been touring consecutively since we were like legally able to post-pandemic. So it's been like 900 some days now, just on a run. And since we kicked off the run this year, it's been the best it ever has. So it's me, my cute little opener, does some time, and then and the girls love him. And then I do a portion of stand-up, and then there's a sketch that plays at the beginning, there's a sketch that plays in the middle, and then I come out as my character entitled Housewife. And from there, the show just kind of goes completely off the rails. And there's like some audience involvement and stuff. It's basically just a big party. With a lot of stand-up, a lot of jokes. It's just kind of packed full, but it's a really good time.
Talk about the entitled Housewife character a little bit and how that came to be. And is it just, being on Instagram and seeing all these videos? Because that's where I see most of them.
Yeah. Where it came to be or what?
How you came up with the idea and how it comes up, how you evolve it.
Yeah. So peak pandemic was just really in a sad pit, like many people. And was kind of, staying with my sister for a while because she was an ER nurse. And then went over to my parents' house and I grew up in a tough cul-de-sac outside of Portland, Oregon, as they say. And my parents, like the cul-de-sac lifestyle during the pandemic, like they were having the time of their lives. My dad was golfing 5 times a day. He was like, golf is all we have. It's kind of fun. And my mom has been through a lot of, she's had a lot of medical history throughout the year. So she kind of had a little bit of a Florida approach to the pandemic. She was like, if I was going to die, I'd be dead already. This isn't going to take me out. So, so what if I want to go to the Thirsty Lion and do happy hour with girls? And I was just kind of absorbing that for a while. And then something inside of me just snapped. And I just put on this little wig and I went in their closet and I found a skirt and a polo. And my dad's Oakley's just covered in fingerprints, the visor. And I just looked in the mirror and I don't know. I just started improvising. And at some point, I just laughed myself out of the darkest place I've ever been. And I don't know, I started filming it because I am a narcissist at the end of the day and posted it. And then, it's just been absolutely crazy since then. There's just the show, everyone comes wearing visors and skirts and screaming like, Daniel, Maccabee, Scott, like screaming at their husbands, or they'll bring their husbands down too. And it's just, we just get crazy. It's been so fun.
I know this tour started in Australia. Did Australia get the entitled Housewife thing, or did you have to explain that a little bit?
They've got their own little brand down under. Yeah, they do. They came in the same visors, heavier accents, but they're everywhere. They're like, come to Ireland, I think there's just little pockets of fun, just women that are like, yeah, we should just tell like it is. And, we're sick of being moms and, maybe we don't love our kids every day. Maybe some days we're a little pissed.
Yeah, I've heard that a little bit.
Yeah.
I know you've got like a dozen characters you work on at all times. How flushed out does a character have to be for you to bring it up on stage? Or are there every time like something will just pop in your head and like, let's try this tonight? Or do you have to work on it before you bring it out?
I've had many swings and misses over the years. I'll tell you that. Many nights at the Hollywood Improv workshopping a character called the Hummus Guy that is never going to see the light of day. But if something happens, like, I don't know, if I look in a mirror and I start, with like a Jennifer Coolidge, just like, oh, wow, ow. I'll just like, if it makes me laugh, then I'm like, maybe it'll make one other person laugh and maybe I should try it on stage. So I kind of have like 6 main characters that I just kind of, oscillate between. And it's just a fun way to like open up a different piece of your own brain, your own mania to a new pocket of people. And I think we all have like a bunch of different personalities inside of us and, different sides that come out based off different things that happen to us. So Yeah, I've got about 200 wigs over here in my dress up room, my adult dress up room. So yeah, I've probably done. I used to headline this one character, Susie Chapstick, for a while, but right now we're just really rocking with Entitled Housewife, and just yeah, we're loving it. We're having a great time.
Now I need that other stuff to blow up and get big so that you can go back and be like, I've got this hummus character that's been sitting here. We need to do something with this.
When I first started the tour, I was doing a 5 character show. And I'd get caught like in between. I'd have to like jump out on stage while I was still putting my pants on or like securing my wig cap. And so we've pared it down a little bit. And sometimes I'll throw in an additional character or two, depending on the city. But the show where it's at right now, it's pretty dialed. So it's been awesome. I think the crowds have really been enjoying it.
So when you're writing for these characters, do you ever just sit down and say, okay, today I'm writing for Entitled Housewife, or today I'm writing for another character, or do things just happen and you go, this would be good for this character, or this might work for this character?
It's a little bit of both. I'll sit down and I'll be like, entitled 1 hour, Becky 1 hour. And then I always usually push myself to the side because, I hate myself. And, and, yeah, I make, points to, or so it'll be sometimes I'll focus and I'll sit down and write it. And then sometimes I'll be in the car and I'll like yell at someone and I'll be like, entitled would say that. Or, I'll just start saying things in accents and I'll be like, this is perfect for that character. Or I'll tell a story to like my friends and family, like this goes in the me portion.
So I know you've had a lot of stops along the way since you started doing comedy. I know you did Wild and Out and you did Work with Funny or Die. Just how much of those stops really, help shape you to where you are today?
All of them, all of the mania. Wild and Out, I've always thought doing just stand up wasn't always my best foot forward. I've always felt like there's more to give, at least for me. And I like I've always done voiceover for animation, and I like being really physical and like dressing up as the person and completely transforming. And yeah, I started doing comedy rap battles because I was like bored of stand up and I wanted to freestyle rap. And so I started doing this character, Little Pickles, and then Nick Cannon was like, yeah, we got to have her. And, that was a big learning lesson. It was like, every day, 3 live tapings for a sketch comedy show and like a cast of people who have been on the show for a decade. So I learned that was like just a very fast learning environment. But I was like contractually obligated to wear a blue do-rag every day, which is wrong for many reasons. So I look back on it and I'm like, yeah, I would have changed some things, but definitely learned a lot. And yeah, Funny or Die was great. It was like a lot of political stuff. In everything, everything has kind of worked a different muscle. So I feel like now, after all these years doing like making character pilots for like the NBC network when they wanted a female Sacha Baron Cohen show, there's been so many experiences of just like different aspects of character arc, from the stage to Man on Street to the political aspect to like all this stuff, that right now it's just kind of like just gotten back to like what's the funniest possible thing. And I feel like the past 10 years have kind of put me right here. So yeah.
It feels like Wild and Out like threw you in the deep end and we're like, here, figure it out, and
100%. 100%. Yes. It's weird. Sometimes you go into audition for things and like you're like, you leave and you're like, yeah, that was terrible. We were auditioning, I think it was like 7 a.m. at MTV in Santa Monica. And I just had like a couple good days in a row at 7 a.m. where I was just firing, just improv, like everything was just working. And they were like, oh, she's brilliant. And then I got on the show and I was like, oh no, oh, what have I done? That was a long audition process. They made us improvise for like a month together as a cast, and people would just get cut like every day. So, they took a chance on me and I learned a lot, but yeah, it was a fast learning curve. But they throw you in and they're like, let's see if you can, you can swim. And some days I swam, and some days I went home and I was like, I am the worst. I'm not funny at all. And you take that like pain and you're like, I'm going to do everything. Like I would stay up every night till 5 a.m. like trying to write new stuff and being like, I never want to experience that again. I'm going to work so hard to get better. So yeah.
You're coming to Charleston February 15th. You ever been to Charleston before?
Yes, I've been one time for a friend's birthday, and I loved it. Loved the colors. We went on some sort of little walking tour with ample amounts of wine and mariettes. And I just loved it. Craig from Southern Charm is a good friend, so we're going to see if we can drag him up onto the stage. I'm so excited to finally come do the show there, because I've gotten emails over the years like, why haven't you been to Charleston yet? And finally, the crazy train's rolling through. So I'm pumped.
So I'm always curious, when you come to a city, Are you the type that likes to go out before and really take in the city and get to learn everything, or are you the type that just stays in the hotel room or the bus and just goes right to the stage from there?
Well, it's very different. If I'm in Des Moines, I'm not leaving the hotel room. If I'm in Charleston, like, oh yeah, I'm getting out there. We're going, we're having fun. I have a couple friends coming with me, and our tour manager and our opener. So Charleston's just such a fun town, and I want everyone that's with me to experience it too. So yeah, I'll be ootin' a boot on the town for sure. We have, I think, one night before the show that I'll be in town, and then the night of. And I tell my audience is like, most good comics are very introverted, and I am quite the opposite. Like, I tell them what hotel I'm staying at. I'm like, let's go to the bar after. Like, let's, I don't know when I'm going to be back in this town. And it's fun. We all kind of go out after and we dance, and it's like we're all best friends. So yeah, that's how I like to do it right now. I guess maybe a little bit of a female Bert Kreischer. Just like, I want to hang out with I want to kiss everyone on the forehead. I love it. I have the best fans in the world. They're awesome.
And we can't wait. Like I said, Charleston Music Hall, February 15th. It's right around the corner. Still a few tickets left. Becky Robinson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. Can't wait to get out there.
All right, thanks again to Becky Robinson for joining me. Her show at the Charleston Music Hall coming up tomorrow night. Are still tickets available? You can go to Ticketmaster, and I would highly recommend getting over there to see her because she is an amazing comedian. We're going to be back here coming up on Friday for the Friday Night's Tailgate. Big week with college baseball kicking off and the high school basketball playoffs starting earlier this week, so a lot to get to coming up on Friday. Everyone, we will see you then. Everyone, have a great week.